Yo. When I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan.
Hello, welcome to Chessy Hour. My name is Meeds and I'll be your host for this one. We're in the studio today. We thought we'd change up a little bit. After an emphatic win against Aston Villa, I'm here joined by Jay. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, all good, man.
Yeah.
All good, yeah.
Yeah.
Winning. When you're winning, you're happy, innit?
Light splash. And I'm also joined by the infamous Babs. How you doing, broski?
Good, man, but Jermaine, where's the energy, man? We just won 3-0. I need some more. Man.
The madness
I need more energy,
the
man.
madness I did, the madness I just done to get here, yeah, bro. I'm gathering. It's coming, bro. It's coming. Pause.
The listeners will appreciate it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm doing well. I know I agreed to come with this for the ages ago. I just feel like with Maresca now, I'm just a lot more at ease. You know, I know what I'm coming into. I'm happy to speak on the football. You know,
What you saying? You're too traumatized before.
Hey, look, certain managers had me. All I was doing last season was just picking apart what was happening. But this season, I've been, man, I'm feeling happy again.
It's crazy.
Got my joy back.
It's crazy because, yeah, we agreed to do this quite some time ago. And I was thinking, after the Villa game. But I thought to myself, actually, Maresca got me feeling so comfy that I'd be all right. Like, you know what I mean? It's fine because I don't think I'd feel disappointment after a game. And I think there's been very few occasions where after a football match, I felt, that's been terrible. So, Jay, when you saw the lineup, because everyone was shocked, kinda, we saw a lineup that I think Dan suggested quite some time ago in regards to Caicedo being the inverted right back.
Yeah.
We finally got to see it. And give me your thoughts when you saw the lineup, how you felt.
Well, you know what's mad? Like, obviously, a lot of people heard my thoughts already about the Gusto, like how we use him compared to last season, and how I think his strengths aren't really being utilised this season.
Yeah.
I think when I saw the lineup and I kind of understood straight away what Caicedo was going to be used for, I actually prefer it. Like with Maresca as manager and how he plays the game and like his style of play and the tactics and all of that kind of stuff. I just felt like that is more of a natural fit.
Yeah.
And we're not losing anything. Do you get what I'm saying? If anything, we're
gaining.
Yeah, we're gaining massively. And so this is again a massive positive for Maresca because I just think he's tried something at the beginning of the season. He's gone with it. He's allowed it to kind of, try to test itself out, see where Gusto is with the role and his understanding of how it works, see how effective he's being. And I feel like he's given it enough time where when he changes it, you're not saying anything. You're just like, all right, no problem, because we've seen it. We're not upset with it, but at the same time, we're not really we're not feeling it like that. Yes. So you're open to other solutions.
Exactly.
And now he's found one in Caicedo, and it's like you have a result like you have today against a team like Villa, who I know they haven't been doing that well, but they are still a good team. They're a team that have given us problems the last couple of seasons as well when we've played them. So, yeah, man, I think with the lineup generally, I was happy. I think that was the major change. For Fata and Cole, we're always happy to see them in the lineup. Obviously, they're building they're building a partnership. Cucurella carrying on his form as usual from the back end of last season into the Euros and then now into this season. So, and then Enzo. I'm sure we'll touch on him in a little bit more detail, but again, Enzo coming back into the team and looking sharp, looking fit.
Your boy Lavia came in. They were all hooping today, man. They were all there. They were all playing. I think, you really got to see how good Chelsea's squad is today. Deep.
I think you got to see how good Chelsea's squad is today, and the fact that at the end of the game, you see someone like João Felix coming on for a little 5 minutes. Obviously, he'll get more game time than that, but it's that's what we can do now. We've got those kind of options, and I wasn't really one of those people that was open to some of these players. So I think, watching it pan out, I'm really happy with the way the squad is at the moment.
Big facts. And Babs, I want to come to you because again, when we saw that lineup, I was like, oh, what's the formation? So yeah, talk to me. When you saw it, it's like, wait, what? What's going on?
Yeah, I was a bit confused whether it was a 3 at the back or if we were going to potentially change the shape. But one thing I liked with how we did it is, even though Caicedo was inverted, he was still joining the midfield rather than going a bit more advanced. So he was offering support to Lavia on the ball. He was offering support to even Neto, when he was on the ball. But when I saw the lineup, I was happy. I mean, not just because of today, but just the fact that we've got a talented squad.
Yeah, man.
You know, I think it's undeniable. You know, people have mocked us for years and years now. You know, where they spend their money on. They got a worse squad than West Ham. They got a worse squad than this team and that team and that team. And now all of a sudden, it's, oh yeah, you know, but they spent that
2
money.
billion. They spent 2 billion. They should be there.
They spent 55 billion, so they should be there. You know, they should be there. And part of that is true. You know, part of it is true. You know, we have got a lot of quality players, so we should be there. But then the other part is people have almost played a blind eye to the fact that the managers haven't been up to scratch.
Exactly.
You know, from my boy in Potter wasn't up to scratch.
Yep.
You know, Poch last season wasn't up to scratch. But now it seems we've got a manager who the players are behind.
Yep.
I think it's obvious the fans are behind the bridge. I think once you have that synergy, you know, between the fans, the players, and the coach, the only way is up. The only way is titles. The only way is winning things, winning big things, and that's what Chelsea's about. So for me, when I saw this lineup, I just thought, wow, for the next 10 years, you know, people remember like 2019 when we got position that people were like, oh, next 10 years.
Yeah, next 10 years. Yeah.
Now it feels like
it's a genuine feeling.
It's a genuine feeling of, oh my, these guys are talented. You know, like, and it's not just like they're talented from like random leagues. They're talented. They've got Prem experience, and the Netos and the Caicedos and the Lavias. They're talented. The fact that they've proven themselves on the international stage, and the Enzos, you know, the Nkunkus, all these other players. They're talented. The fact that we've seen even last season with Palmer. Yeah, we've seen his impact in the Prem. Yeah. So, boy, I mean, I'm really looking forward to it, and I really think within the next season or either this season or next season, we're going to win something big. Yeah. I think this season, the FA. Oh, we're not in the FA Cup. Is it?
No, we're out of the Carabao Cup.
The League Cup, we should be going for that. And I think the Premier League.
No, we're out of the Carabao Cup. We're still in the FA Cup.
The FA Cup, I feel like we should really be going for that.
Yeah.
Because I think fans that think, oh, you know, it's just the FA Cup. I know Arsenal fans, you know, we don't care about the FA Cup when we care about the Premier League, but I think winning is a habit. Yep. Success is a habit.
It's habitual.
In all facets of life, success is a habit. You need to build that habit. Yep. You need to build that rhythm. You get everybody in that winning feeling, and the sky's the limit. Exactly.
1,000,000%. And I looked at the lineup and I was mildly concerned, but then I thought to myself, actually, this inversion from Caicedo, we've seen it from before at Brighton. So it's not a position that is like alien to him entirely, because I've literally seen him play right back at OT.
Yeah,
and boss it.
Yeah, we saw him do it against Arsenal at their ground.
Exactly. We've seen him do it. So like Jay said, if there's anyone in our squad that could play that role, well, it's Caicedo. And the form that Caicedo's in as well, it adds that extra level of assurance that you think, yeah, you know what, he'll handle it. And I think when I saw the way that we were just punching up their midfield, like especially the early exchanges, I'm thinking, yeah, this is very, very serious. Sancho came in at left wing, which was not a bit of a surprise, because I think I think he had a little knock. Sancho was playing most of the games on the left, so it's not a massive surprise. But I also think that Felix had a good account of himself against Leicester, so maybe he could have got the nod. But I think there's probably touch and go between them. Yeah, I think the team's a team, and when you look at it, I think like no matter who really comes in, you think you've got more than enough to win the game, and that's what I felt. I felt like we've got more than enough to really stress them out, and I think that was Aston Villa's best back four. Back five this season, and we ran them ragged. Like we actually ran them ragged. Nicolas Jackson. Let's talk, because Jay, we said in the preview that this guy is doing everything he can to really tell people he's here. He's arrived. That's 8 in 13. That's 8 non-penalty goals in 13. I don't think there's statistically, he scored 23 non-penalty goals in 2024. That's the most, I believe, after Haaland. Where do we start, Jay? Because
look, it's another opener. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, what my favourite thing about watching Jackson this season is that he sets the tone for games. Like, he's setting the tone. And I think as a striker, you love to see strikers do those kind of things where they get like those last minute winners, or when the game's really going against you, they just turn up with like a crazy like kind of goal out of nothing. Yeah. And those moments when you watch strikers, they are like,
they define you.
They definitely do. But I think but I basically think that so far this season, it's kind of been his thing to get us going in games. Like he starts off well, he starts off like with a lot of energy, a lot of intensity, and then he'll either score the opener or he scores an equaliser, and he's either he's setting the tone by putting us in front, or he's setting the tone by getting us back into the game. Yeah, getting us back into the game, and then we can try and kick on from there. And I think generally, like, he just needs to keep doing what he's doing, because I feel like people really doubted if he could kick on from last season.
Yeah.
Because 14 goals was quite decent.
Yeah.
And so I think people just thought, it's probably going to stay at that level. I think it's massive that Jackson's come in this season and he's kind of straight away, not even kind of grown into it, but he's like, just straight away, he's just started scoring and picked up from where he left off last season.
He's showing a real hunger that we've probably not seen in a long time from a striker at Chelsea. I think when we talked about, especially in the summer, because I still want to reiterate, I feel like we still need another striker, because I don't think Mark Guiu is a strong enough number 2. I don't think Nkunku is a pure 9 to really be that number 2. But everyone was talking about Jackson as if his first, because the thing is, his first season, again, none of us were saying that it's amazing. Jay, me and you, we talked at length about this. But a lot of his numbers and a lot of his goals were kind of diminished. Like, to be honest, like the 14 goals was actually kind of scoffed at.
Yeah.
And apparently wasn't of the level for Chelsea. And I agree, right? In terms of 14 Premier League goals, it's not of the level to carry us to anything big. But you have to look at it as a starting point. And I looked at Jackson's last season as a starting point. This is a starting point for him. His first season in English football, his first season under trying circumstances, because I don't think personally Pochettino really got the best out of him. I don't think the football that we played maximised his threat, but nonetheless he scored 14 goals, and that made me think he's got so much room.
It's a good base there.
That's a great base, especially under those circumstances where your team's not great, not really competitive at the top end, but you're still getting decent enough numbers. And I think really and truthfully, he's quietened a lot of people, a lot of doubters, and people that will compare him to the Darwin Núñez's or the other. Bro, they'll compare him to Darwin Núñez, all of them, man.
Crazy.
It's wild. And for the first time, I think today was the first time at the Bridge where they really cheered his name. When he came off the pitch, that standing ovation and cheering, Nico, I thought finally there is that connection there. You know what I mean? And that, again, will only push him to further heights. It'll only push him to further heights. Babs, I know you had your reservations about Jackson.
Yeah,
but
I still do.
Yeah, you have your reservations, but you've been giving him credit for the last couple of weeks. He's been answering the questions you've been posing to him.
He has. He definitely has. I mean, the variety of finishes is unquestionable.
Crazy, man.
Outside the foot, curlers.
Yeah.
Like, he dinks. He's really, really like broadening his horizon. So what I'm seeing from him in front of the goal, I don't have any complaints about. He's not been wasteful, which has obviously been a big complaint of ours.
Yeah.
His movements, I think, has been a lot better as well.
Yeah.
I don't think he's just making those runs off the shoulder of the defender anymore. He's making those like fake runs and then
dipping on the other side.
Exactly. So we're seeing variation there, and I guess it's a part of like actually him maturing in senior football, because obviously his season at Villarreal, I think that was his first season?
That was his first proper season.
Yeah. So this is his third proper season. So he's only 2.5 seasons into senior football. So you can't really complain about it. But in terms of what he's doing from a goal, I have no complaints. There's still a couple of things I want to see, but right now you can't not praise him for what he's done. If that makes sense. He's really setting the tone, like you said, Jay. I think he scored 6 of our opening goals or something like that.
Yeah.
And all of them been in the first 20 minutes, which we've spoken about. And the fact that getting that goal early on against teams, the minnows,
the tone, man.
It sets the tone, because now you can't sit back. Now you can't make us suffer like you did last season.
Bro.
So many times.
So when you get those early goals, it just means you immediately have to come out and play.
Yeah.
So, and against a team like Chelsea, if you have to come out and play, we can blame you.
Exactly.
We've seen it multiple times this season.
And even more with Maresca this season.
Yeah.
I don't think you can afford to leave too many gaps against the Maresca team.
Facts.
Like, I honestly think like he has got that down to a T. Like the players know exactly what they need to do if the gaps start to appear.
They are one of the best teams at exploiting the space. Like, once the space happens and opens up.
Exactly. I think the Neto goal was like a really good example.
Exactly.
Like, there wasn't really much happening, but you allowed us space.
Yeah.
And we have the players.
It's like Palmer's goal today, very similar to Neto's goal against Arsenal, where he just drifts into that space and you don't detect him.
Because they almost try to double up on Noni and then you just open up. So, and it's that remember what we spoke about in the pod a couple of weeks ago, but when you have threat in multiple positions,
It's crazy, bro.
It just opens up the play for even players like Palmer to, okay, I can find a pocket here, I can get a goal.
Yep.
So
He tiptoed into that area.
Exactly.
He tiptoed into that area quietly, undetected. He didn't even call. He didn't tell Nonny, look, Nonny. He like drifted in, and Nonny had his eyes up, vision up, and good pass. But I want to talk about the goals, obviously, because 3-0. But let's talk about the first goal, because Mark Cucurella, again, showing how dynamic he is as a fullback, showing that he's capable of doing all facets of play, because gets down the byline, crosses it, takes a little nick, Nicolas Jackson, left peg, no look finish. What is going on here, guys? No look.
Yeah.
No look. I can't believe what I'm seeing.
Box
no
threat
look.
as well.
It's nuts. It's nuts. And the thing is, Babs, we were talking about this in terms of Jackson, his movement. It's like he's now attacking the near post. He's now trying to get headers, like, because last season again he wasn't really trying to get in aerial positions to head the ball. But this season he's really mixing up his game, and that makes him very difficult to detect. Sure. So that finish, bro, talk to me, because that's a crazy finish to me.
Boy, I mean, it's like I said, the variation of finishing this season especially is undoubtable, and I don't think he's getting the plaudits he deserves yet from the wider audience. And I definitely think it's a disservice to him, because what he's been doing in terms of finishing this season is not normal. Yeah, like these are some really, even the finish against Liverpool, the finish against Leicester, the finishes against West Ham. These have been all like really accomplished finishes. It's not like he's scuffing the shots. You know, it's not like the ball's just like luckily falling to him. He's actually like going out of his way to pick out corners. Yeah. You know, dupe the defense. Yeah. That outside the foot, I wasn't expecting that against Leicester.
Hey, brother, it rattled
the
me.
little flicker of the defender when he. Yeah, no, these are the signs of a top striker at the end of the day. Yep. You know, I think it's undeniable. You know?
I think the biggest thing with Jackson as well about today's goal is we've been worried about box threat. Yes. Like figuring out what areas to be in when certain players have the ball and they're about to cross it or they're about to cut it back or whatever it is. That was a really good goal today from him in regards to understanding where the ball's going to end up.
Facts.
Do you know what I mean? Like a lot of strikers, the reason why they get there, the reason why they get those goals is because they just know. They know where the ball's going to, where it's going to fall. Yep. Jackson had a really poor understanding of that last season.
Facts. That's like, one thing.
It was so poor.
It was bad, man.
And this is the thing, we haven't, as Chelsea fans, we haven't just been, you know, trying to talk him up for no reason. We've seen the potential. Yeah. But there's also been things that have been very frustrating with Jackson from last season. His ball striking, his movement at times, his lack of like, you know, not lack of intelligence, because I think he's quite clever at times.
Guile, exactly.
Is that old school sin of fox in the box?
Yeah,
it's just,
you're going to attack the ball when it. And it's that thing people think it's luck, but it's not.
It's not. The strikers work on it all the time, and I think it's really interesting to see how much he's improved. Yeah. And it kind of just tells you like how much he's actually working. He's working. He's literally working so hard to kind of prove everybody wrong. And you get that from Jackson in terms of his character. You hear him speak. Yeah, man. You hear how he gets rattled sometimes. Yeah. I know he don't like what people are saying.
Nah, he doesn't. He doesn't.
You saw the response to Mikel.
Yeah, man.
Boy, that one there still makes me laugh to this day.
Do you know the funniest thing is about Jackson, and you can tell mentality is so top, because I think the thing, it was like early in the season when FIFA came out, so EAFC came out, and he saw his rating. He took the game and he said, I'm going to show them. He took the game and said, I'm going to show them. He said, I don't like my rating, I'm going to show them. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like he's been working on the off-season, most definitely. And like you said, the box threat is there, movement is there, and the best strikers are able to sniff out those moments. Right. And I think this season, he really is finding those moments. Even like the chance where Martinez tries to pass it and he anticipates it and it just gets away from him. It should have been 2-0, but again, his press. Like Maresca's talking about not just his goals, but his ability to press, lead the line, and actually get everyone up the pitch. And he's the first man, the first line of that defense, basically. Yeah. And yeah, it's a testament to how good he's been this season, because he's scoring a goal pretty much every other game.
Yeah, facts. And I think a big thing even is how automatic he looks in front of goal now. Like last season, it felt like when he had chance, we had to think.
Yeah.
See, there was like But the goal against West Ham, I think that was like one of the biggest ones where it's like he had time to think.
Yeah.
You still see it sometimes as well.
Yeah.
Like Brighton, remember Brighton
Yeah.
when he passes it to Palmer?
Yeah.
Still there, but you're still it's like baby steps.
Yeah.
Forward, you know?
Yeah.
Still
Right
there.
now he's a little horse.
Yeah,
Right now
exactly.
he's a little
For sure.
horse, you know?
Listen, the return of the little horse. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But yeah, so that Jackson for me again sets the tone, and there's just a period in that half where you're looking at it like Villa ain't getting close to us in midfield. I'm seeing Tielemans suffer. I'm seeing McGinn suffer. These men are not getting anywhere near us.
These are all guys that people were telling us last season.
Better than us,
They're better
yeah.
in midfield.
Yeah.
Boy.
Kamara getting suffocated. I'm seeing everyone just struggling, and Lavia in there just slots in again. He's his first. I think that's his first start in a little while now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to take him a while, I think, to really get to his level as well. I think he's similar to Fofana, where
Yeah.
he kind of needs to be looked after this season. I don't think he's going to have his best games this season. He'll have comfortable games.
Yep.
I think he'll have decent games. But I don't think you're going to see the best of him, because I watched him thoroughly when he was at Southampton, and when he's at the top of his game,
Sharp.
yeah, he's ridiculous. I think obviously we've got a talent there, but I wouldn't be surprised if it takes him a while to really get to the form
Agreed.
that we need him to be in.
Agreed.
But at the same time, our squad's so good that Caicedo and
That's the
Enzo,
thing.
You can
Enzo
allow
and
it.
Caicedo will look after him as well at the same time.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
You can
Which
like
is good, so-
allow it, because I think again there's so much pressure. He's only 19, 20. So again, you're putting so much pressure on him to, I need him to start, I need him to be this, I need him to be that. But you've got the best people around him, basically. You've got Enzo, you've got Caicedo. You don't need to rely
Yeah.
on him too much.
Yeah,
Again, he's had his injury issues. You don't really want to play him every game, every
Yeah,
week.
exactly.
And that kind of allows him to really build his momentum. And if, for example, Chelsea win something, especially, he's still a part of that. And he's still growing in that. And that,
Absolutely.
again, takes him to game to another height. And I thought he was pretty good today. I don't think he was amazing, but I thought that he showcased his level, again, against a good Villa midfield. Again, very comfortable. Dominant, I guess. So I wouldn't say amazing, but I thought it was good. I thought it was good. You know what I mean? And that kind of leads on to the other midfield too. Enzo comes up with a second goal. 2 goals in 2. Boy, a finish reminiscent of what we saw with Nicolas Jackson last week against Leicester.
Yeah. Boy, is that a challenge?
Touch.
within
Yeah, brother, I don't know
themselves?
what them men are on. I don't know what them men are on, but they're all like doing outside of the boot finishes. Brother, that goal was so good. That goal was so good. Talk me through it, because Caicedo at the heart of it again. Yeah. One of you talk me through that goal, because I thought that was crazy.
Babs has got to talk about, because I know Babs has been waiting for Enzo to start getting his shooting boots on. He's been annoyed with it
Brother.
because he's not been shooting the way he's used to.
But you know, last season they were saying Caicedo, he was always at the scene of the crime. This season, boy, he's at the scene of the crime for the opposition team, because every single moment, whether it be against United, West Ham, all these teams, he's always at the heart of it in the build-up.
Yep.
You know, whether it be assisting the goals, scoring against United. I think he's been fantastic. But in terms of the goal, just the speed at which the ball went into Enzo, the speed at which he first time
Popped
pings
it
it
off.
out to Palmer, comes straight back into him, and the way he deliberately took that touch just to...
To set himself.
Yeah, no, it was a quality goal, and I wasn't expecting it, to be honest with you. When it came down to him, I thought, it's a good position to shoot, and I think it's a position where I'd expect someone to put it and really test the keeper, but the decision to take it outside the foot, I was not expecting that.
Crazy.
But yeah, it was a quality goal all around. I mean, it showed the technical level of the team, to just move the ball that quickly,
You can't live
outside
with
the
it.
foot passes and first time flicks. Boy, the squad is...
It's crazy.
The squad...
You know what technical level at the moment, sometimes I look at the team, it's very scary.
Very high.
It's crazy.
And I'm talking from centre back all the way
All the
through.
way through.
Yeah, all the way through. Yeah.
All the way through.
Because I was going to say, like, a lot of the players that we have at the moment, they look so comfortable playing these kind of passes. It's like the pass that you're talking about with Caicedo and Enzo, for example, we're used to seeing like Levi and Jackson, in similar kind of sequences where it's like Levi will play a really nice pass to Jackson,
Yeah.
and Jackson will just turn and do whatever he needs to do. Like it's actually ridiculous. Like when you look at the squad now, initially when you're watching it all kind of being put together, you don't actually realize
The level
technically how
technical.
good everybody is.
Yeah.
Until you now see it all brought together, which is obviously why you get a good manager, because
Yeah.
he's the one that brings it all together.
Yep.
And then you watch them play football the way they're playing at the moment. Some of the one-touch stuff that
It's
they do,
mental.
even in some of the games that we've lost and
Yeah, it's
drew,
mental.
Yeah.
there's some really, really nice sequences from
The Man
Chelsea
City
this season.
game at home, some of the passing from Lavia and Enzo, wild. Honestly, wild.
No, especially the first time. I remember there was that chance that Enzo, like, he played into Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even today, when it's like we're in tough positions and Sancho, like, he nutmegs the centre back.
Oh, my God.
Plays the Cole first time around this attack, and it's just like you have those moments where you think, it's a bit worried, we're going to get caught, but they find a way.
It's funny as well because I was reading a quote from Levi today.
Oh yeah,
before the game,
you'd be
and I
scared to
thought
play against us. But I was like, that's brave, innit?
Hey, you're spicy, though.
Very spicy. I'm like, yo.
I
He was
respect him, man. That's how I want to hear, man.
I proper rate it.
If that's what Maresca's doing, if that's how he's got the players thinking,
Exactly.
Bro,
hey,
that level of confidence.
And it's like what I just said about 10 minutes ago is that winning culture, instilling that winning culture, getting people to this is the standard that we need to be at at Chelsea Football Club. The standing is winning big things. So
The buy-in from the players to the manager
It's very, very
is
important.
insane.
It's crazy.
Very important.
It's crazy. And you see when you were talking about like the technical quality and like the touch to set it from Enzo and the connection on the strike, again, just super high level. And I feel like when you've got players, and the thing is with Enzo, I think even like Pochettino last season, I feel like Pochettino had the idea of Enzo can support the attack. He's got enough quality to support the attack. But the one thing that I saw about Enzo, because he was so highly geared on pressing, Enzo is receiving the ball on the half turn. He's not coming on to back play. He's literally receiving on the half turn on the edge of the box. And obviously, when you're not a 10, naturally in those situations, you're going to struggle. Especially after putting in like dog work and you're doing a big shift, running around pressing and not getting a ball.
Yeah.
Whereas this season under Maresca, it's a similar idea but a different approach.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that Enzo is having to do that super hard pressing up against the defender, up against the goalkeeper. I don't think he's having to do that situation where he's having to receive it on the half turn under duress. I think he's always backing up play. And when you've got a midfielder, because he has got quality, he has got talent, I think Maresca's utilising him really, really well. And again, we've had this conversation about numbers in the box for a couple of weeks now. And when you have Lavia and Caicedo, what you do get is that defensive solidity in transition. You get that defensive solidity in terms of build-up.
Yeah.
But you do lose that extra person or that extra support when it comes to crashing the box. And Enzo has found a way to get Fernandes supporting Jackson really, really well. And that goal today is a literal prime example of him doing that.
Yeah.
Because Jackson takes the player away. There's a gap for Enzo to take the touch and then crash it bottom corner.
Proof of concept right there.
You know what I'm saying? So it is depth, because I was very worried. I can't lie. I was worried for Enzo coming into the season. I'm like, where do you fit? Do you know what I mean? Because I saw Lavia, especially the first game of the season against Man City. I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. I need Lavia in the team. But what Maresca is doing to really try and get the maximum out of all of these players, including Enzo, is actually really, really good. Really, really good. And his goal today typified how good he was today. I thought he was really, really good. Not only with the ball, without the ball, crunching into tackles, recovering the ball, pressing. Again, just really high level stuff. Really, really high level stuff. But I think for me, my personal man of the match was Moi Moi Caicedo, because he was at the heart of absolutely everything. I want to give a shout out to Cucurella, because I think he was imperious once again. But Moi Moi Caicedo, Jay, this is your boy. I think, remember 2 years ago, you were telling me, look, there's levels. We had Kovacic in midfield. I think Kovacic is a really good player. Yeah. We had Kovacic. I think we had Kante was there as well, but Kante was like injured.
The Brighton.
Yeah. And then Jay was telling me, nah, look, Moises, we need him. But Caicedo, look, he gets into our midfield. I'm like, yeah, but we've got ballers in our midfield. Like, I'm comfy with our midfield. And he's like, no, you don't understand. Caicedo needs to come to our midfield. That is, watch him.
He's an insane talent, you know that. Like, honestly, I think when I watch him on the ball now as well, and I said this, I think I was saying this earlier, like at the beginning of the season when we was talking about if we don't use Enzo in that kind of box-to-box role, or whatever, who can we use?
Yeah.
And I was adamant that Caicedo could
He
play
could
there.
do it, yeah.
Because I'd seen him so many times. Like even last season, even in the games that we lost against Wolves and stuff like that, the through ball for
Yeah.
Palmer for his goal,
Yeah.
that was light to him.
Yeah.
And I'd seen him do that before at Brighton.
Yeah.
And so I thought to myself, if we can get him into that role, he could definitely be super effective.
Yep.
But he can also do the
other
defensive
side.
stuff,
Yeah.
which is what makes him.
That good.
Player he is.
Yeah, exactly. Literally the player he is. Like, he is such a high level baller. Like he's so ridiculous. I think you're starting to see now as well a more mature version of Moises
facts.
Caicedo. Because people forget how young he is.
Yeah,
Like,
23.
That's true.
He was super
Is he
young
even
when he kept.
23?
Is he 23?
I don't know.
Yeah, he's 23. He's 23. He's 23. He's 23. He just turned
crazy.
23.
That
Oh
is-
yes.
He just said 23.
That is crazy, because he is very, very good for a player of that age in terms of a midfielder that can do all the things that he can do.
Every facet of midfield play, I think he's very good.
So and
every
then,
facet.
and then even today the system, so like the understanding of, being a right back coming into midfield. I'm sorry, there's not many midfielders. You're not getting many midfielders at 23 that are just going to understand the game to that level. And so, yeah, like I said, this guy can play anywhere for us. As long as he's fit, we
got
can
a
pretty
big
much do
chance.
whatever we want with the team as well
Yeah.
in terms of in midfield.
Yep.
Like there's literally there's no formation we probably can't play because of somebody like Caicedo.
Yep.
And we've got the profiles like Lavia, and then we've got the profiles like Enzo, who just give us, even more on top of that. I think watching Caicedo this season kind of made me aware of how poorly we used him last season.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, like
Structurally.
as much as I saw him play better at the end of the season last season, we could have done so much more with Caicedo,
Brother.
and we could have made top 4 last season
Brother.
if we'd even just. He is this good. I think if we'd have just used him
Properly.
and actually utilised him properly last season,
Yeah, man.
we probably made top 4.
That's
how good he is.
I genuinely believe that.
I agree.
I
I agree.
genuinely believe that. That's why, because the thing is, everyone thought I was being so harsh on Poch, and it's just because I just knew how good the squad was. Like, everyone's doubting the squad. Cucurella was being doubted. Caicedo's being doubted. Obviously, Palmer was great, but everyone else, bar Palmer, was being doubted in terms of just their overall quality level. And I just used to watch our team, and I watched the player, I watched the technical side, I watched the technical level of the players, and I just kept thinking to myself, nah, this ain't right. Like, they are not being put in a position to thrive. And I always kept feeling like whenever I was seeing Caicedo make errors or make mistakes, or other players make mistakes, I'm just looking at, this is actually not the player problem. It's systemic. Structurally, they're being left in oceans of space, not knowing where they need to go to next. Under duress. In the Premier League, when you're in that situation,
Boy,
you will get punished.
You will get blamed.
You
Yeah,
get
will
blamed to
blamed.
dust.
It's true.
You get blamed to dust if you don't have an out and know where to release the ball. Yeah? Because sometimes, like even today, there were just some moments where we're just booting it away.
Yeah.
Because we don't have the options, and it's cool. Like, that's fine.
Yeah,
but if 99% of the times you don't have the options, you're going to struggle. And I think
Yeah.
where last season, a lot of it was so kamikaze and freestylish, like there's no real patterns. And this is why I stress the importance of patterns. I stress the importance of having sequences. It's because when your players know where you know where your teammates are going to be, you're going to be far more comfortable in what you're doing. You're going to be far more assured in what you're doing. And the difference between last season and this season in Caicedo is he scans, sees around, and knows where his players are going to be, knows when he can release it, and he's calm. I've not seen him this season being caught on the ball. I've not seen him caught under duress. I've not. And that's because he knows where his teammates are going to be. And I think he's just, again, when you give a top player, which I think Caicedo is, if you give him a top player, a clear structure, because again, today, when he's able to drift into midfield and say, actually, hold on, we've lost the ball, drop back into right back, come back. He was knowing exactly when to drop in, come back. It was so good. Again, like Jay said, it's showing a maturity. And yes, I think, I don't want to do him a disservice, because I do think a lot of it was down to Poch last season, and maybe the over eagerness to try and prove that he's this great player.
Yeah.
But there is a matureness with Caicedo where he's just knowing the game and knowing what the game needs at a moment. And long may it continue, because what he's been doing this season has been fantastic. And I don't think there's been a midfielder better than him this season. I just don't.
I agree.
I agree.
You know what I mean? I don't.
I agree. And it's never on a bias thing. It's what he's just performed, the way he's performed week in, week out. You know, it's hard to look at a game and say there's been a midfielder that's outperformed him on that day. The only day I can maybe say that's the City game.
Maybe.
And the only reason you said it because Kovacic's got a goal.
Yeah. Kovacic was great
But
that game as well, to be fair.
When week in, week out, I struggle to see a game whereby he's been outperformed in any facet of his midfielding work, and I think it's just a massive. I think a lot of praise has to go to him as well.
Yeah, man.
Because even though Maresca, he's giving him the system to thrive, but what he's doing like on the ball, the confidence that he's got to play, and I think when you start winning, confidence starts to come back.
Yeah.
Because at Brighton, you always make those like really awkward tackles where like you kind of like tackle you on the outside.
Yes.
And last season it wasn't working. It was giving up silly fouls for it. But today, even the tackle on McGinn where when McGinn was like
yellow, they gave foul.
But that tackle was
brilliant.
Perfect.
Brilliant.
It was perfect. He got the ball. He was able to retrieve it and just kick off.
Do you know what highlighted the level that he's playing at today? There was a moment in the middle of the pitch in the first half, the ball pops up, daisy cutter to Sancho.
He's so good, man.
On a volley. I said, what?
So
the
good, man.
Fuck? I was like, what?
Honestly, I think we now because I know obviously people always say that Palmer's our best player.
Yeah,
and I get it because obviously there's a bias to like attackers, but for me, I think
Caicedo,
I think he's the heart of our
He's
team.
the most important.
He's the most important player.
He's the heart of our team. I think if he goes down, a lot can unlock.
Yeah.
I think with Palmer, top player, world class player, arguably.
Yeah.
But if he drops down, you can bring in Nkunku, you can bring in Felix, but with Caicedo, what he brings you on and off the ball.
Yeah. No. I think it's a fair shout.
Yeah,
I think it's a fair shout. And going back to what Baz said about like Caicedo and like giving credit to himself as well. I remember like I went to a game a couple of seasons ago when Poch was in charge. Not Poch, sorry. When Potter was in charge, I think. And we played Brighton. And they came to the bridge. You remember when?
In Ciso.
When he scored the banger.
I remember that goal. Yeah.
Caicedo that game,
He was quality.
I was just in the stands and I was like, yo, I'm not even watching Chelsea anymore. I'm watching Caicedo.
Yeah.
Because the way he's moving is
I got a review from Jay. Jay told me this guy
crazy.
is
So like, yeah, I think it's fair what you're saying about like giving credit to him as well, because he's just generally just a really, really good player. And he's another one similar to Jackson where I reckon he probably looked at a few things last season and he said, you know what, this season I'm going to show my level.
Yeah.
And he's come back in and he's not just doing it here, by the way. Like he's going South America, getting hardly any rest, balling out over there, coming back, playing games, balling out here. So like, it's not an overreaction from Chelsea fans. If any rivals end up listening to this.
Exactly.
It's not an overreaction.
Let them talk.
Because we've had our things to say about other midfielders in our own team. Do you know what I mean? So we it's not like we've just been praising.
Nobody's more critical of our
Exactly. Absolutely.
Exactly. So yeah, man. I think well done to Caicedo for that, man. Because he's managed to make himself probably the most important player in our team at the moment.
He's indispensable.
Absolutely.
Well and truly indispensable.
I'm not saying that he is N'Golo Kante. But I'm saying in terms of level of importance, with these consistent level of performances that he's had, he's almost like, if we don't have N'Golo Kante in our midfield, there's a little bit of a weakness there. And I feel the same way about Caicedo. If you take Caicedo out of our team, I feel like you have a weaker midfield. And and a weaker team. Not fuck midfield, a weaker team.
Fact.
He's that good.
He's that good.
He's that good.
I think he's inarguable.
Yeah. Real level raiser. Shout out to Jay, because first on the scene to tell me this is the guy. Trust me, he's the guy.
Who got the third? It's Palmer, isn't it?
Of course.
Yeah, Palmer.
Of course. Now,
let's get
to that goal. Let's talk about
I was panicking just yesterday.
Let's talk about that goal.
For the listeners, Jay was giving us the stats of like every player going touching the pen.
Bro, I was panicking, bro.
Listen.
He was scaring me.
Bro, listen. I swear to God, the goal and the celly told me everything I need to know.
It meant more.
That
it really meant more.
Hashtag means more.
Means more.
Yeah?
It really
that
meant
goal
more.
meant a lot. That goal meant a lot. Yeah? Because players aren't dumb. These are young G's, right? They're seeing what people are saying about them. They're seeing what the Arsenal man are talking about. They see what he sees it, and he's like, "This is jarring, man. Like he's been playing like he's been jarred as fuck. Like today, I felt like I don't think it was poor today. I don't think it was great today, but I thought he was playing like a man that was just jarred. Like things aren't really just going his way.
Mission.
Yeah, but things aren't going his way. But he's still gonna try, and it's like I just felt like he was just jarred. Like he was getting into decent areas as well. And he was actually finding like decent pockets and decent space. But he wasn't really getting the yard to shoot. And when he did find a yard, he snatched at it. And I'm like, yeah. And when he snatched at it as well, he was so pissed off. he was so pissed off. So, but I think towards the like back end of the game, he almost like calmed down a bit. Like he wasn't trying to force it. Like he's like, especially when Noni came on, because like Noni came on, he's like, all right, you know what, fine. I get to my boy. You know what I mean? Like with Neto, to be honest, I think there were some moments that he like passed off, like not passed to Neto, which I think is fine because he gave Neto the ball a lot, right? And Neto was like doing the crossing thing, and I do also think there's something to be said about crossing when you've not got enough bodies in the box. And Pedro Neto for me sometimes was just crossing. And I think that might have frustrated Palmer a little bit because like, okay, I give it to you there. You've now got 2 men on you. Pass it back, and I can then try and do my thing. But I think sometimes Neto wouldn't do that, and that's fine. But when Noni came on, again, like Jay's been saying, like you've been saying, Babs, when you have a threat, there's 1v1 threat like Noni. Despite the fact he's not been in great form of late, but he attracts people to him.
Because defenders know at the back of the mind, the danger's still local.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It's true. And he's a shooter as well.
Exactly.
So it's like you can't even leave him.
And Neto, for all the dangers that he does pose, I think Aston Villa left him 1v1 a lot because his threat is more on the outside to cross in. You know what I mean? So they don't put the 2 man on him. But as soon as Noni came on, 2-3 men surrounded Noni.
Boy.
And that allowed Palmer to drift in off the back of Duran. And boy, oh boy.
The pass was from Noni.
The pass was from Noni.
Yeah, I think sometimes when you've been playing with somebody for so long, right? There's just this comfortable feeling you have when you're on the pitch.
Yeah.
And it's hard to explain because sometimes fans might not see the benefits of it.
Yeah.
But Palmer and Noni definitely know the benefits of it. Do you know what I'm saying? They know exactly what each other are going to do. They've been playing 21s for ages.
Yeah.
So I'm saying like they have this chemistry on and off the pitch.
And I think, if I don't want to misquote, but I think they are the deadliest duo in the league this season in terms of like passing and assisting to one another.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
a lot of us probably waited to the Wolves game.
Yeah.
But even the Forest game when Noni got his goal, I'm pretty sure Palmer
assist
that as well. So.
But this is what I'm saying is, and I think even if we haven't even got the numbers to back it up in terms
they
of
do love each other
in terms of like trying to prove it. We can see Chelsea fans. You can see how happy they are on the pitch, even when they're celebrating the goal.
You see it, man.
You see it. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think those things, they can go far.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when I used to go play football with my boys all the time. Like, you're happy to go and play football when you know you're playing with your friends.
Yep.
And that is no different for professionals.
Especially the young G's.
I don't know why people think it's different.
It's true.
I don't know why people think it's different. Like, yeah, they're getting paid a lot of money, but they want to play with the players that they chill with, they get on with.
Yeah.
And so naturally that relationship is always going to be important for them too.
Yeah. Big facts.
Does it mean that they can't thrive without each other? No.
Of course.
But at the moment, we probably need to try and make the most of it.
Yep.
That being said, Neto hasn't had the chance to build a relationship.
Big facts.
And so we know the talent Neto has in it.
Yep.
Like Neto is clearly, I think he is going to be, out of all the wingers we got, I think he'll be the one to kind of step up and actually start getting numbers. I know he hasn't had that evidence in the past, but just looking at the type of player he is.
Man.
He's like that goal against Arsenal.
Yeah, even at Wolves, to be fair, in a small, when he got that, was it the 10 assists?
10 assists, a couple of goals.
Injured for quite a bit of the season.
That's what I'm saying. So I think Neto can be that guy to actually, show up if Palmer or Noni's not in form or Palmer's not getting the goals and assists. But I am happy that Palmer got the goal and assist today. Because
a lot of men were talking smoky.
Yeah, there's a lot of men talking smoky, 1. And 2, I was kind of getting worried in terms of like what his role was going to be this season, because he's such a good player that he can do the deep stuff. Like he can drop in and get the ball and play the pass like he did against Newcastle. Play the pass like he did last game to Cucurella for the cutback, which Cucurella done again. this game, which is it's just showing like how many things are actually working out in terms of what the coach is doing. But yeah, like I'm glad, like edge of the area, easily one of our most dangerous players. Like easily, if he's on the edge of the box,
It's fucking peak.
you know for a fact.
And you saw the way they tried to swarm, but it was too late.
It's fucking peak.
Yeah, and I think he's been getting, like you said, he's been getting really frustrated, and he's been jarred by his performances recently because even against was it Arsenal when Nicolas Jackson plays the ball in
and he cuts it and he hits it.
No, it's a poor like first touch.
Oh, okay, yes,
And he runs away from him.
yeah.
And you know that's not Palmer.
Yeah,
Poor first touch,
he's
Palmer.
pissed off. Yeah,
Never.
yeah.
Do you understand? So and it's those kind of things that I was looking at him. I was like, bro, this is because you're not there enough, bro.
Yeah.
Like you're getting it like 2-3 times in the game, whereas normally he's constantly getting a ball, shooting like Brighton.
Yeah.
When it's like that,
Yeah.
everything's going in.
Yeah.
Because he's
clapping
always
it
in
off.
those situations. And I just felt like the last few games he was coming away from that. So good to see that it's not a coach's thing because clearly he managed to do that today.
Yeah. He
Whether
was there enough.
Caicedo has anything to do with that in terms of the new kind of formation today, I don't know, because he can't really drop deep if Lavia.
Yeah, you don't need to. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's true.
Cucurella's like he's
He was popping in as well. Yeah.
So if that, I need Caicedo in there, bro.
Yeah.
I need Caicedo back there, bro. Caicedo, do a job for me so I can get Palmer on the score sheet.
It's very true because I saw Palmer in a lot more threatening positions this match. He was a lot more in and around the box, and I could see. You know what it is? Yeah. I could see Jay's concerns, and I'm not even trying to minimize the concerns, right? But I trust Maresca to find the right balance.
Solution,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's why I don't worry too much because I look at our coach and I think the coach is always looking at doing what's best for the team.
Agreed.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's not necessarily like, if Palmer doesn't score, like it's the end of the world. I don't think that's the situation
You man know
anymore.
me, man. Like, I start talking about 2027 and that, and what players are going to be doing what. That's how you know how I am, bro. I start
It's the
worrying.
passion
I'm
version.
already
I
thinking
get it,
about
bro. I get it.
how Esteban's going to start banging the free kicks and that. And all that.
I get it, but look, for me, I try and worry about the here and now, and I also try and worry about, I try and forecast, and I just see, from the data that we've seen, has Maresca really been the guy to kind of tweak things to try and make things work for the team?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to worry too much.
Like, in the back of my mind, to be fair, I did think he's going to fix it at some point. Like if it does carry on.
If it persists, yeah.
If it does carry on, because he would never want Palmer to not be in and around the goals and assists.
Yeah.
I don't think Maresca, like
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, one, and two, he hasn't shown that level of like stubbornness. Do you know what I mean?
carelessness,
Like, carelessness,
yeah.
exactly. Like he just hasn't shown that to me. So like it would be unfair for me to be like, oh, look at the manager, look what he's doing. It wasn't so much a thing of look what the manager's doing. It was just like, boys, can you see this?
We need to get our man involved. I get it.
It was just like, boys, can you see this? I saw Ndidi with like 34 touches and Palmer with 44. I said, why is Ndidi anywhere near this guy?
Palmer,
with, like,
touches in the box.
He shouldn't be in the same kind of thing. He should be on like 100 and that.
Yeah.
So, and I was getting annoyed because Saka scored like 2. He's got 2 assists and a goal. I was getting annoyed.
Listen,
I was like,
brother,
don't worry
you
about that,
you know what it is, yeah? Here's my thing, and I tweeted it the other day. I'm not doing hate watches. I don't need to.
yeah.
I don't need to.
Focused
We're on
on
our
Chelsea this
thing. We're
season.
on
I
our thing.
I hear it.
Fuck
I
a
hear
hate
it, man.
watch.
I hear it.
We're on our thing. You know what I
agree,
mean?
man.
Like,
I agree.
a couple men were watching the game today, proper like praying for some fuckery to happen.
Boy.
We swept Villa.
I think you said that a couple of times.
You
as
feel
well
me?
this season.
Fuck
You
it,
said,
watches.
Listen, we just need to focus on what
Focus
we're
on
doing.
us,
just
bro.
focus on, and you know, just to touch on the systematic tweaks a bit more. One thing I like about with Caicedo being the fullback now is it actually allows Palmer to get close to the goal. So
Yeah.
the reason why he's doing it, so when Gusto was there, it was almost like a thing whereby the system was you have a twin 10,
Yep.
where one of the fullbacks is the 10 and Palmer's the other 10. Whereas with Caicedo there, he was supporting the defense in the midfield, whereas Cucurella, he wasn't getting as advanced, but it allowed Palmer to really get into the box, get around those areas and get things cracking. I mean, even Enzo, he was able to almost like patrol that middle line area. So that's even where the goal comes from. The fact that Palmer's at the edge of the box right there. Anyway, if you wanted to, you could have wrapped it. But,
Yeah.
but just proof in concept there, the fact that
true.
the systematic tweaks has meant he's able to now drift in that familiar zone he's in the right hand side.
Yeah.
Because against
Yeah.
United, he was playing more
On
on
the
the left hand side, and then Gusto was the 10 on that side.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's almost like he's been allowed to roam in and around those areas where like we were seeing him get those goals.
You know, you're spot on because Villa for Enzo's goal, Villa was so destabilized. He had enough time to take it down, turn and get it cracking. But you saw Enzo punch it into Enzo, and that's where the goal came from. You're 100% right. And again, because Caicedo is slightly deeper, Cucurella's in next to Lavia, it allows for that situation to happen.
So
So
a lot more freedom for him to get forward.
I would like to see more of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Especially now Reece is out injured. I would like to see a lot more of this Caicedo, like false fullback role or whatever it is, because it is looking very, very strong. Again, horses for courses.
Exactly, yeah.
Horses for courses, so it
I
really
think that's the
depends.
benefit having a tight squad.
It depends, you know what I'm
Swiss
saying?
Army knife.
Yeah,
Because you might not need to. Because
You may not need to do
You might
it.
not need to do that next
game.
Get some
Yeah,
week.
Like you can give Gusto a run out. You can let him do what he needs to do. You can see if he can execute the role
To
the same level,
similar
yeah.
level.
True. Yeah.
Like you can do so many things. I think, like I said again, like with Maresca, I've just been impressed with how he has changed things whenever he really feels like something's not working.
That's a proper coach. He's a
No,
proper
it is,
coach,
it is.
man.
It
He's a
is.
proper coach, and I guess that leads us on quite nicely to actually I need to shout. That's a first clean sheet in a little while.
Yeah.
I want to shout out to the defenders. Levi Colwill, excellent. Cucurella. Hey, I'm gonna give a shout out to Sanchez. Reluctantly,
He made some
but
nice
he made some good
saves. Yeah,
saves.
really
He made
nice
some good saves. Obviously, even when we were comfortable, and the saves you expect him to make, but he didn't any mess ups. He paid out a couple of 3 or 4 banging pings. So I need to give him a shout out. He's been a very frustrating player to have and watch, but again, at Chessy Hour, we're going to be objective, and if you perform well, we're going to give you a shout out.
Definitely.
I felt Badia Shield looked good when he came on as well. Yeah, man, it was a good performance, man. It was a very good performance.
He's going to be key, isn't he?
Yeah, Badia Shield for
He's
sure.
going to be key.
For
I've
sure.
got a funny feeling he's going to be quite key.
Yeah, him and
Because-
Tossin,
yes,
him and Tossin
And
are
I've
going
just
to be
seen the
very
news
important.
about
3 to 4, 4 to 5 weeks. That's crazy.
That's very annoying.
That's all of December.
It's a shame. It's a shame, especially this running. But
I'd be lying if
we
I
have
thought
the
he
talent
wasn't
now.
going to miss a part.
A
of the
period
Yeah,
of
I
the
get what you
season,
mean.
yeah.
season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not too shocked.
Yeah.
I'm just annoyed.
But
because
it's a
of his
hamstring.
form.
Do you know the frustrating
it's
thing
that
is
link between your knee and your hamstring where
the frustrating thing about it's like I understand that there's an importance to you need to play like Colwill and Fofana to build partnerships because again, but Fofana's missed so much football. Have we wrapped him in what cotton wool enough? Is a question that I want to ask. Have we?
I don't think it's been an issue in terms of like the load in terms of games because he's playing one game a
One week, yeah.
You know, I think a lot of it's just repetition and rhythm. He's not really like he's exerting himself too much either within the football. It's not like our
might
system
be
is so
forcing it
expansive.
still.
The fact that he's almost risking. Even the injury today was kind of like a thing whereby he tried to like do something.
It was a
bit-
freak mistake to be
It
honest.
was a bit of like a freak injury.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah,
like he was like having to like exert and like cover.
okay.
Cover defense.
Yeah,
It was like, okay.
he
the ball's
like,
bounced. He
the ball
tries to like
bounced.
take like a different touch and then
Yeah, he trod on the ball basically.
Exactly.
And then tried to overextend and then like just pulled his hamstring. I'm like, okay. You know, it was annoying. And it's super unlucky. It's not even one of those. So I'm forcing it with the load thing, like because, it was a very innocuous one. You know what I'm saying?
It's
So
going to be a thing where like none of these men are going to come back and never get injured again anyway.
yeah, exactly.
There are going to be times where they get injured. I think our fear is it one of those ones where it's like he's injured and then 3 weeks in it's like he's going to be out for longer.
Yeah,
that's what we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that. I think it is going to be just 4 weeks out and then maybe where we do
Gradually
have the
ease him
squad.
in.
Yeah, where we do
Yeah.
have the squad, we can just and it's a good chance for Badia Shield.
Yeah, very good shot for Badishaw, Tossin, either one of them to be honest. Because Tossin, whenever he's coming, I've been pretty impressed with him as well. But quick preview on the Southampton game. This is a game that we really expect to win. Another game that you expect to really put them to the sword. They've had a couple of results of late. Been quite unfortunate to be honest of late. But
it's true.
Billing has been fantastic. Dibbling, sorry.
Dibbling,
He's been really, really good.
I think I saw that. I think is he suspended or injured?
He's suspended.
Yeah,
he's
so-
suspended.
Yeah, top defenders just
A lot.
suspended as well.
lot of defenders
Yeah.
I need 7.
So we need to
Yeah.
crash it on the
We need to
head.
crash it
I
on
need 7.
need to
The
crash
way
it. We
we
need
were
to crash
moving
it on
against
the
Leicester, we were like what's going on here, man?
Yeah,
2-1,
Yeah.
wasting up chances.
Yeah.
We
we need
need
to
to
crash on them.
crash
You're not
it
seeing
on them
how
still.
important the goal difference
Brother.
is.
Yeah, it's true.
We need to crash it on the heads because
True.
it is given the way that we've been playing, I'd be very disappointed if we don't hit them for numbers.
Is
You
it
know what I
away?
mean? It's away.
It's away, yeah.
It's away.
Midweek.
We've been good
Midweek
away as
though.
well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's what we spoke about in terms of this running now where you're playing it every 3 to 4 days. This is where we're going to see Maresca. Okay, how are you going to rotate the squad?
Yeah.
How are you going to make sure that players who are familiar with each other are able to play in certain games?
Yeah.
Even just like knowing, okay, against Southampton, maybe I can rest Palmer. bring in
Possibly.
Felix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Let me see Felix.
But then I don't want to.
Yeah.
But then I don't want to destabilize it too much. So I'll still allow Neto and Madueke. In the next game, you can
Yeah.
Then we put Sancho and Palmer. Then
Yeah.
bring in another player. So not changing things
Drastically.
Yeah, exactly. Not changing things wholesale, but just making little changes here and there.
tweaks.
Make sure nobody's really going into the red zone.
Yeah.
And just getting the results we need in this period, because this can really set us up going into the latter half, the next half of the season,
Facts.
post January, because we play Southampton, we play
Tottenham after.
So
Yeah. Tottenham is our most
good
difficult
opportunities.
fixture, apparently, in this running. And obviously we dealt with Villa.
yeah,
So yeah, Southampton. We need to set ourselves up for a nice
Facts.
one,
Nice
even if
early
it's
win,
a nice
nice early
early,
goal.
like 3-0, and like
Facts.
after 40 minutes, then half time you take up a couple men. That's what I need to see.
and we're with you on that, man.
I don't need it to be a struggle because again, exerting so much energy, especially if you're going to use a similar team
exactly.
against, and then you're going to have them against Spurs. I don't need that. I need
Agreed.
it to be a really routine first half. You put them to bed. You make your changes. A couple man have come in. Then they assert themselves and say, okay, I need to play on the weekend.
Facts.
That's what I need.
It's so interesting as well, like looking at the subs that he made, because I almost feel like they will start
Yeah.
next game.
Yeah.
Adishil,
Yeah.
Felix,
Yeah.
Noni,
And Nkunku.
they'll all start midweek.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They'll all start
yeah,
midweek.
That's a shout.
I reckon they'll all
Gusto as
start
well.
midweek.
Yeah, get some rhythm.
Maybe the only one that does carry on is probably Jackson.
Jackson, yeah.
And I think that's probably quite important.
Yeah.
One for the, like, I'll say golden boot, because
Yeah.
he'll want
He
to
wants
try
it.
and get the golden boot. I think obviously Haaland's
Haaland.
going to get it, but
Yeah.
boy, the way City are playing at the moment, you
It's,
never know.
it's
So,
fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's not looking good, bro.
but then there's obviously Salah as well.
Yeah.
But either way, he wants to be in and around it, and I think you try and play your striker as much as you can, especially if he doesn't get injured. Like
Yeah,
Jackson,
he's
touch wood.
durable. Jackson's quite durable still.
So I think he thinks about it. Even the game before, he's thinking about it. Like,
Yeah.
who do I need to get? A few minutes before the game.
Yeah.
That I start them. So, and he played them against Leicester, right?
Yes.
Adishil, Felix.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
true.
I reckon.
Very
I,
true.
I reckon
Yeah,
he'll
it's
do
true.
a similar thing.
That's a good.
That's a very good true. It's a very good
And then
shout.
Gusto will come back in probably.
Very good shout. Very
man.
good shout because
It's ridiculous, the squad.
the squad is
Yeah.
crazy, bro.
Talking
when-
about a squad. I haven't talked about a squad.
this
a Chelsea
squad is
like this in a while.
crazy, bro. This squad is like Jose 2005. Like when you had Duff, you had Robin, you had Joe Cole, you had all these men ready to say. You had Jeremy, you had Makalele, you had Mikel, you had Essien, you had Lampard, you had Ballack. You just it's crazy. The depth is mad.
Yeah, it's insane.
No matter who you're putting out, you feel comfy.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel about Chelsea
Yeah,
this season.
that's
I
true,
feel like no matter who you put out, the squad is more than good enough to get a result. And I've not felt like that in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Very long time. Boy, so I'm going to get some scoreline predictions.
Yes.
And then go on to some listeners' questions. So in terms of the Southampton game, I want to get a young prediction from both of you.
I'm gonna go 5-1. Just because I feel like we're gonna make a silly mistake in defense.
Jesus Christ.
And someone's
Complacency.
would be what's that? Is it Armstrong? Someone's gonna get one of those annoying goals, like the scrappy goals where he puts into the corner. But I'm thinking 5-1. I think Jackson brace. I can see that.
Is it 3-0 today? Yeah. So
3-0.
I'm not going with anything below that. So I'm definitely going for
For
at least.
back-to-back clean sheets, yeah?
Yeah, and they have to get smoked. They have to get I feel like they have to hold 5, man. They have to hold 5.
I'm with you on it, man.
They're at the back. They're at the back playing. Trying to do this whole tiki taka.
Hey, listen. I don't know. Well, Russell Martin, listen. Don't try and do the deep lock thing now.
Brother,
Don't try and change up now. Don't try and change up now. Stick to your principles. Stick to your principles.
Brother, you've been freeing it up all season. I want none of that low box shit.
You
Come
know what?
on.
Now that you say that, I bet you anybody is going to try and do. But to be fair, you know what? I don't think he will. They're at home. They're at
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
So I think, No, I back us. I think it will even be a 5-0. I don't think they're going to be able to lay a glove on us, to be honest. Only reason I say that is because Diblin's out and, what do you call it? They're one of their best centre backs is out.
Bells, I think.
Yeah, so I just
out.
don't. If Chelsea allow them to even give them any sort of stress on that day, I will be so disappointed because those two players are massive for them. So and Leslie can't play as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah,
Yeah, very true.
That's a good point.
So they're struggling.
Yeah.
So
What about you, Meeds? What are you thinking?
I'm gonna go 4-0. 5. That's be a bit excessive. You know? And I'm gonna.
Palmer, if you're not showing me this, if you're not doing this, if you're not doing this at the end of the game,
Do you reckon he's gonna play that game?
I'm gonna.
Do you reckon he's gonna
I
play?
think he
he
plays.
might not actually.
You don't think so?
You might not.
I think
if
he-
you want
I
to take him
think-
for Spurs,
It's a shout. It's a shout.
The thing is, you don't want to.
Overexert these men.
Not just that, you don't want to almost
let them off.
ruin the rhythm. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Some players. So
Yeah. Especially
it'll
where
be
he hasn't
interesting.
scored for 3 games, comes in and scores now.
He's
And
gonna
it's
wanna
almost
play.
like you want him to get those goals
Yeah,
to
true,
go
yeah.
into the Spurs game, innit?
Yeah. No.
See what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, he's gonna
Get
wanna
goals,
play.
then 50, 60 minutes sub off.
Yeah.
like maybe even Tyreek George get a little 20.
Yeah, it's true. Isn't it? Yeah. So I got a question from You Can't Say Hi. Big shout out to you. The question is, if Fofana's injured, how do you see a Colwell and Badiashile partnership performing?
I think what you're going to see is a lot of like quality on the ball in terms of like the passing in between the lines, and I think you almost won't need either a Lavio or Caicedo to drop in deep as much because they're going to offer you that quality on the ball to even go direct to the source of going straight to Palmer or going straight to the wingers. They're going to offer you that naturally. What you're going to lose though, however, is going to be the carrying.
Yeah.
Potentially, even though I think Colwell does it to like a decent level, but I think Fofana, he always does that, just like slalom carries where he wins fouls, in the middle of the park. So I think you lose that, but I think you're going to get a lot of composure on the ball.
Yep.
What I'm hoping is that I'm just hoping we don't lose that physical threat that Fofana had, where he was almost just like bullying strikers, and he was like setting the tone. Because even against Palace, where like he was bullying Mateta at times, he said, you're not going to get any joy here today.
Yeah.
That's what I'm almost thinking, because I think with Colwell and Badiashile, they got good physical profiles, but they don't really engage in that aspect naturally, with the strikers. But yeah, I think that's what I'm expecting a lot of like quality on the ball in terms of like the passing, but I'm a bit worried about that physical aspect of like just bullying strikers, not letting them get any sort of like sniffing goal.
Yeah. That covering on the right side as well, because Fofana, when he was doing that role, he was definitely being able to cover as that fullback, almost like playing like in between like right centre back, right fullback almost. Yeah. And he's able to like dominate the winger as well. So that is a bit of a concern. I don't know if Badiashile can do that. I don't think Tosin could do that either. I definitely don't think Disasti could do that. So there is a mild concern in that respect. That being said, we don't necessarily need to play the game the same way.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I think Gusto will be a big solution to what we lose, what we don't have from
Fofana.
in terms of
That
Fofana, like the carrying and the pace and stuff like that. I think it might just be a thing where he doesn't do the whole role of going into the number 10.
Yeah.
Maybe he just plays as like more of a right centre back.
Yeah.
And
true.
maybe he just kind of shuffles over, allows Cole to go central, and allows Badiashile, who looked really good against Leicester in that left left centre back role. And we might just have to do things that way.
Yeah, that's a shot.
And then just work it out from there. I think Gusto, like we've been seeing him arrive into the 10 a lot this season, but we forget like he's one of our best 1v1s. Like, he's definitely one of our best 1v1 defenders. Do you know what I mean? So I think we'll be all right, man.
Yeah,
I think Gusto's he's really good defensively for me to be comfortable without.
And the thing with Maresca is, when a player goes out, it doesn't have to be a light for light change. He's going to still switch out the system.
Very true.
So, yeah, I'm feeling confident still, even still.
We've got one more question from Hardo Brother. Shout out to you. He's basically saying, I know we're winning now, but I think we would have improved under Poch people to explain why the positive improvements in regards to build changing, press reduction, better return to play protocol under Maresca, and it didn't move them in the first 3 months of play. Why is that? I think for me, I could answer that question. I think the reason why, I think there's a bias. I think people were so against Maresca coming in first and foremost. Any good that he did, they're
It's
always
almost
going to rub it out.
Poch, yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's almost like, there's almost like,
especially the Wolves game. I think that was the big
big
one.
facts. And everyone was like, oh no, well, it would have been this way on the Poch. I don't agree. Personally, I think the way that you look at how Poch sets up a team versus the way that Chelsea set up a team, I mean, under Maresca sets up a team, it's different. I don't think it's the same.
No, we're not the same.
We're not the same team, and I don't think the results would have been the same. In fact, you might have had similar results, but the way in which we're going about our business is very, very different. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's fair to say that we definitely wouldn't have been playing the same way, because I think there's a clear difference in the way Poch plays. I still think he would have been doing the counter pressing.
Yep.
I still think he would have been leaving the attackers to kind of like their own devices in terms of like, you let Palmer do what he needs to do, because I think he likes freedom. He likes a lot of the like freedom for the attackers and stuff like that. That's something that he actually lets them, he lets them have that. But I'm not sure where he would have gone with the defence, because I think that was the big question mark. We conceded 60 plus,
60 goals, man.
Like we did have injuries, but and fair, like Fofana and them have been fit this season, but that's also been due to the way Maresca has also managed the squad. If Poch is still managing the squad in the same way, there's a chance that we still have the same injuries. So I think people need to be fair in regards to that. If you are a Poch fan, you have to acknowledge the bad with Poch as well in terms of those things. And then just generally as well, I feel like I do think the results would have been similar, and I think we would have been a little bit more braver in the bigger games.
Okay,
That's the only thing I think is different, because I think that was one of his main positives.
It was
that was one of his main positives. I don't think he was like too cautious. I don't think he was cautious.
Okay.
What games though?
Okay,
What big games?
so you know
like
what?
in all the games, I don't think he ever went into them cautious.
Yeah.
Like he went into them trying to go blow for blow.
Yes.
I didn't say it didn't
Yes.
backfire, because it backfired a few times.
Yes, we got
But-
blamed. We got blamed a number of times as a result.
But you
I
didn't
agree
see a
with that.
team
I agree
punch up
with
City the way we punched up City last season.
Yeah.
There wasn't one team that done that.
It was a big dust up.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Dust up last season.
Yeah, it's a fair call.
So that's the only thing I was saying. But where I do think Maresca has added a lot to this team, which is what Poch fans or people that still feel like Poch should be here or whatever. What you have to understand is that Maresca is using the squad in a much better way.
Yep.
But he's also coaching a lot of the players in a different way as well.
Yeah, man.
And I think like you have to be fair and say like you didn't really see that from Poch.
Yeah, man.
In terms of coaching individuals.
Yep.
I think you saw it maybe with mentality. Maybe you could argue like Madueke, for example.
Yep.
You saw him get to a stage where he was like really focused on getting him to work hard and all of those kind of things. But apart from that, I'm not sure what he added to the players in terms of them actually improving their own game.
Yeah, facts.
Whereas I feel like Maresca is doing that.
Facts.
With players like Gusto, he's probably teaching him every day how to play this new role.
Yep.
And Caicedo, as much as he already knows it, he's still learning things from Maresca. Levi Cole speaks about Maresca in a way where he feels like he's learning the game in a different way.
Yep.
And so this is coming from the players. This is not even just me.
This is not even our
guessing.
opinions. This is literally
This is
players
not my
speaking.
opinion.
Yeah.
This is what I'm getting from players that are talking about Maresca.
Facts.
Whereas with Poch, it sounded like there was a massive kind of family feeling there, and a massive like, they had big motivation under him. But were you improving as a player? I'm not sure. So I think that's fair to say, and I think Maresca deserves a lot of praise for what he's done so far. I feel like if you're not praising Maresca for the hard running that we've had, and for us sitting in second or joint, it's like we're on the same points with Arsenal, currently third. I don't know what else you'd really want.
What more do you want?
Yeah.
What more do you actually want? You know what I'm saying?
It's true.
Yeah, because I don't look at what we've done under Poch last season and it doesn't give me that much confidence to think, yeah, we're definitely going to be where we are now. I don't think so. I think the feel around the club, the games that I've seen us play, the results, I think maybe 18, 19 points from the points that we've got now. I think 25. I think I think Poch might have got about 18, 19 points in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's my general opinion. My general feel, given what I saw last season and given what I'm seeing from Maresca, and just he has us operating like a big team. There's no excuses for the players. Yes, we're young, but we're serious. And I think that's the mentality that he's instilling around these young players. Yes, we're young, but we can show ourselves to be a serious team. It doesn't matter.
I think what we have to do now as well, in regards to the Poch thing as well, is like, just remember that you've got a talented coach here now as well.
Yeah.
Like, even if you rate Poch, that's fine.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah,
rate Poch.
yeah.
But, like, he's had his career kind of, like, in
Yeah.
terms of he's not really going to evolve as a coach anymore. He
That's him.
is what he is. Like, he's going to stay. Maresca's not that.
Yeah.
Maresca can evolve. Maresca can turn into a better manager.
Yeah.
So you should be focused on
The here and now.
Maresca.
Yeah.
Focused
Growth
on
the
what
here
he
and
can.
now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Focused on what he can become.
Yeah.
And just be happy about the way he started, because not many coaches come into a team. Don't get me wrong, we're a very talented team.
Yeah.
But not many coaches come in and just hit the ground running like that.
Big
And
facts.
I think that was something that everybody was worried about,
Big facts.
because he was managing only Leicester,
Yep.
who had a strong team already, and the criticisms were there. Oh, Leicester, they were meant to win the championship.
Yeah.
He's only been at City in terms of like a big team, like
Yeah,
behind
yeah.
behind
Championship manager, blah, blah.
championship, all of this stuff,
All of that.
and
Last
he's
of December.
It won't last till
Yeah.
December. Get sacked.
Yeah.
Get sacked. We finished 12th. All of that.
yeah,
all
exactly.
Of that, all
And
of that.
and the reality is, he has shown you the complete opposite.
Yeah, man.
Facts.
And so you have to take your hat off to him and say, all right, I see that you're a talented gaffer.
Yeah.
Let's see where you can get to now.
Yeah. This is the thing. The next couple of weeks are going to tell us a lot about Chelsea.
We spoke about it, didn't we? We spoke about. I said
It's going to tell us a lot.
because if I see what I want to see,
Brother,
Yeah.
listen, I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not the type to shy away, right? I know Maresca, and I think Maresca's doing this very, very clever. Like, he's being very clever. By saying that, no, we're not in the race, he keeps the pressure off us. He keeps us in the doldrums, and then if we keep picking up results, we're going to eventually have to accept that we're in it.
exactly.
And me
Exactly.
personally,
you cross the bridge where you get there.
yeah, me personally, I don't know if we're going to win the league. But I think Chelsea are going to be there or thereabouts. I said at the beginning of the season, I said Chelsea for me are going to be within 8 to 10 points of the title, right? It sounded far-fetched, but I foresaw that City aren't going to be that good. I didn't think Arsenal are going to hit the levels that they've hit before, because I don't really rate their team like that. And Liverpool, I didn't anticipate Liverpool to be this good. Yeah,
Right, I'm not
but I
surprised.
still, I love Slot. You know what I mean? So I wanted him at Chelsea, but I didn't anticipate them to really be this far ahead. You know what I'm saying? So maybe Liverpool win by 10 points, maybe, but I think Chelsea will be there or thereabouts. If Chelsea continue at the pace that they're going in now, I think it'd be very, like, if the next couple of games we're still in and around second, and I've been saying this to you, Jay, if we're in and around there on Christmas, let's tussle, man.
Yeah,
Let's fucking go for it. Let's tussle,
I'm
bro.
with you, man. I'm with you. On it.
Yeah, I mean,
I
let's
agree.
tussle.
I'm with you, man.
Let's
I'm with
tussle.
you. I'm with you on it. Yeah.
Because I think these games that we got coming up have got, like, they've obviously, we expect to win a lot of the games that we've seen, but there's still some games in there where you're like, if we win that game, that's another sign of who we are as a team this season. Because I'm looking at that Brentford
Facts.
game.
Yeah, that's going to
I'm
tell us a
looking at
lot.
that
That's telling us a lot.
Yeah, because over the last few seasons,
Yeah,
that's
they're
been
giving
another
us a
team where,
business.
yeah,
I'm looking at that
Webber and
Brentford
Tony,
game,
yeah,
and I'm like, we've got the quality. I know we've got the quality, and we've always had the quality when we go up against Brentford.
now it's converting that quality into actual results.
Exactly, and again, it's just going to be another tick for Maresca. Honestly, if he gets through those kind of games, we might have a serious gaffer here.
That's what I'm talking about.
So,
I personally, I you know, I'm very superstitious. You might know that I'm very much on feel and energy, and I just feel that this is the right gaffer for now for us. I feel it, and you need to bear in mind he's only 41, 42. He's growing, and he's ready to grow with a team. And I think this team is the perfect crop for him to grow with.
Yeah.
He's been given
Nice
a
template.
he's been given a 5-year deal. So I think the owners also feel it. You know what I mean? The owners feel that this is the direction they want to go. And I don't think they're going to turn back. Because I think Potter was the real, for me, the earmark of what these owners wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I think in terms of hiring Pochettino, they deviated away from it.
Yeah, I
Because they
agree.
thought, well, let's bring in some stability.
Because traditionally, it would almost be go Pochettino and
Then Potter.
because they
right?
had Ange in the,
They had Ange, yeah.
in
They had
the
Ange, they had
thing
Slot.
for
They had
Ange.
Slot.
They had him there.
They
Had a
had,
few
they
managers,
had
yeah.
Ange, they had Slot, they
Amarim.
had Amarim.
yeah.
They had all these guys.
Yeah, that's true. Even I
And-
think they have Glasner as well. So
Yes,
that, so that they had like that. Yeah,
But they went to Poch, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what? So it was Ange, it was Slot, it was Amarim, it was Maresca eventually this season. They had, who else was involved? Glasner. And then they were obviously talking to Enrique, and then they were talking to Nagelsmann and then Poch.
Yeah.
And Nagelsmann was like their ideal, but they just didn't pull the trigger. They definitely deviated away. They were shook. They were shook about getting it wrong again, right? And in essence, they got it wrong by deviating away from their actual guys. The guys that they actually like, the guys that are young, hungry, fresh ideas, fresh ways of playing, fresh to grow with a new squad. But they thought, oh, well, Poch, he's worked with young players. He's an established coach. He's proven in the Prem. But they were shook. And I feel like they recognised their mistake. And that's why they got rid.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think they thought Poch was horrible.
Yeah.
But I think they thought, this ain't the guy. And we made a mistake by going for the guy that we didn't want in the first place, but we just did it because we were shook. And I think the Maresca appointment, the 5-year deal, is telling me everything that these guys are like, nah, this is it. This is what we need.
Yeah.
This type of manager is what we need. And we're going to give him the contract and give him the backing to build this team.
Because I don't think they want... it's not just the players that they want, and it's not just the group of players that they want that can evolve and grow together. I think they also want a manager that can grow.
Yep.
And I said this before, like with the club in terms of the change, we're growing again.
Yeah.
Like Chelsea as a football club,
Yeah.
everything's changed. Everything's young, everything's new, everything's fresh.
Yep.
Everybody's grown into their role.
Yep.
Even to the directors.
Facts.
They've made mistakes and they've now corrected them. And then you see like little articles coming out like the days of like doing an overhaul now.
It's done.
It's finished.
It's done.
Because they've done what they needed to do now. They've finally arrived to where they want to be. And now they can just focus on, all right, cool.
Tweaks
this
here
left
and
back's
there.
not good enough.
Yeah.
All right, we'll upgrade. All right, this guy's not good. We'll upgrade.
Yeah. That's where they're at.
And that's where you need to be as a big club as well, generally.
Big facts.
Little tweaks. City, that's where City went wrong.
Yeah.
City are in this problem now.
Because they've not been doing
they
the
stopped doing
tweaks.
that.
Yeah.
They were doing that for like 3 or 4 seasons where they would have a left winger that done absolute madness, but then they just look at it and be like,
Yeah.
we might be able to get someone better than him.
Yeah. Refresh.
Even if he's on the bench, we might be able to get someone that's better than him.
Yeah.
And you just see Bernardo Silva walking.
Brother.
Do you see what I'm saying? And it's like, and now that he's falling off, the thing is,
Who next?
these players are falling off now, but they haven't gone to replace them.
They've not refreshed.
The KDBs.
They've not refreshed.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Trying to run it back with Gundogan.
Yeah, brother.
Yeah.
It's like the City thing as well. Like KDB, for example. If this was Man City of old in terms of the refreshing cycle, they would have been tapping up Florian Wirtz. Wirtz would have been like in and around there. Musiala would have been in and around there. And then you know that he's there for next season. Or you know that he's there this season. But like you said, we are now in a position where these directors of football thought, you know what? Yeah, we've got the squad we need. We can make little tweaks here and there. And that's the best place you want to be in.
Definitely.
That is the best place you want to be in because, again, wholesale changes destabilizes everything. But those little tweaks, you add to the goodness, take away some of the poor that you don't like, and you add to the goodness. All it does, it instills not only confidence that your players feel like they belong, but it instills a confidence that we're not that far away. We're not that far away as a club. We're not that far away as players from winning something. And genuinely, that's the best place to be as a club.
Definitely.
And yeah, big shout out to the directors, big shout out to Maresca. Even the owners, big shout out to actually following their balls and saying, yeah, we're going this way.
Yeah. Because not many would have
done it.
So I think a lot of people, I think a lot of owners would have probably stuck with somebody like Poch with the way he ended.
Yep,
Yeah.
facts.
I think that was the easiest thing to do.
It would have been the easiest thing to do.
Like,
That was
strong.
That was the easiest thing to do because the way they finished really strongly.
Yeah.
And then the only real reason why why we're not in Europa is because Man United won the FA Cup.
Yes, exactly.
We can't forget that.
Exactly.
So it's like, really and truly, when they would have a lot of owners would have looked at that and said, you know what, we'll be in top 4 next season.
Yeah.
He'll get us there.
Yeah.
That's what they would have been thinking.
Yeah.
And I think, to go back to what you said about Maresca when he was talking about City and Liverpool and how we're far away from them, I think the main reason why he's saying that is because the facts are they have been with a coach for a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's our first season.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's literally our first season with Maresca. He's basically saying, let me get my feet underneath the table.
Let's see where we're at.
Yeah, let me actually manage this team for a season.
Yeah.
And then you can start asking me questions about the title.
Truth.
But he's not necessarily saying that we can't do anything
Yeah, this
season.
Yeah.
but he just rather not say anything because he doesn't need to. He doesn't have
need
to. See what I'm saying? And he's probably thinking these players are young. They've just come off the back of a rough. As much as we finished well, it was a rough season for them last season.
Yeah.
So they need to actually settle as well.
Facts.
And so that's exactly what we're doing. Hence why we're third, sitting on the same points as Arsenal.
Exactly. And some people are in 6th or 7th season of their cycle, and we've just begun ours, and we're looking very, very solid and looking like potentially we can run them to the end. But again, it's the return of the little horse. So we're going to play our position and see where we're at come the end of December.
100%.
But boy, that's been Chessy Hour. Thank you for joining us. I've been Meeds. Jay's been Jay. Babs has been Babs. And we'll be back again next week. Well, no, we'll be back in this week on the regular scheduling after the Southampton game. Hopefully with a couple goals to the team. And then we go on to the big game against the Spuds next week. Peace.
Peace.
Yo, when I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard.